Hey there, comic book fans. I got to my comic shop early this week, so you get an early video. It was another pretty big week for me. 9 new comics, $29 worth. So hopefully next week will be smaller, and I'll even out to my average. But I also got a bonus, or it's either a bonus or a burden. I'm not sure yet which yet. I'll show you that at the end. But let's start off with the Imperium number 11, the last of my Valiant books that I enjoy. But like I said, I actually like almost all the Valiant books I've read, but at $3.99 a pop, I kind of stay away from them. The Vine Imperative, Part 1. I think this is the start of a new story arc, as the Vine, who are some alien villains in the Valiant universe, are taking on Harada, at least the Earthbound Vine, or whoever they are. But it's like Cafu is on the art this month. Lots of monsters in the Vine. Sunlight on Snow, that's the name of that robot. There's, looks like Harada's team. He's going into his isolation chamber so he can rest his mental powers for a while. There's something where he has to do that in this book. But very much enjoyed the Imperium. Good comic. Give it a look. Here we go with Invincible, number 126. Reboot, question mark, part 3 of 3. I'm glad I finally put this on my monthly pull. I haven't even read the, as he went back in time to the original of the series. Somehow his mind went back in time. I don't want to spoil the end here of what's going on. Oh, there's some nice boring pages you can see. But I haven't even read the last. I've been buying this in Ultimate editions. I haven't even read the last Ultimate edition yet. So I'm actually ahead of where I was before in reading this. But you know, Invincible is an excellent, excellent series. Kirkman and Ryan Ottley. I think, yeah, Ryan Ottley is the artist on this, right? Let me make sure. Yes, Ryan Ottley. Because I think they had a different artist at first, and Ottley took over like after the first couple of story arcs, and he's been doing it ever since. But Brian Otley's a good artist. And anyway, Invincible's a great book. You should check it out sometime. And next we have Phonogram, Immaterial Girl by Gillen and McKelvey. There's our Dire Straits, I Want My MTV video takeoff cover. This has been an interesting book all about music and magic by the team. Oh my goodness, their other comic just flew out right out of my head. You know it. The Wicker The Divine. Man, I'm a little tired this afternoon. A little low energy and sleepy. But anyway, 2 issues left of this. And it's off my pull. Matter of fact, I put Paper Girls and Saints both on my pull list. So my pull list is officially full now. Because I've got a lot of books on it at the moment, but this has 1 more issue left after this one, and then it'll be off my pull. And speaking of might be off my pull, here's issue 12 of Tech Jacket. I just haven't been enjoying this book a lot lately. It's not terrible or anything. They've just been kind of, it seems to me, dragging out this space-bound story. And I haven't liked a lot of the layouts in the art. Like, right, I found the layouts confusing. As you can see, there some weird. I mean, look at all that strange, weird type and layouts. I just haven't been feeling this one lately. But it's a $2.99 book, so it's stuck around. But anyway, we'll give this one more. We'll give this one more read, and I'll have to decide if this is going to stick on my pull list or not. And now we come to the Autumn Lands, issue number 8. I was just laughing because somehow I didn't even know I got this week. I glanced at all the covers on my pull list and then proceeded to chat as I was standing in the comic shop with a friend of mine and some other people. And somehow I missed that this came out this week. But here it is. Autumn Lands is... Well, they've been going with these page 2 and 3 splashes that are reminiscent of pulp magazines. Then the rest of it... oh, look, more humans? Is this a flashback? I'll have to see in the story. But I've been enjoying this book thoroughly. Magic World, they pull one human out of the past to try and save them. It's a little bit Commandy, the Last Boy on Earth, if he were a warrior from the past, I guessed. But anyway, Busiek, Dewey, Belair, and Comic Craft putting out a nice comic here. Autumnlands, issue number 8. And here we go with Wayward number 12. Hey there, giving you the peace sign. And the back, notice in the back of these Waywards now, they're giving you here's a red line on black version of the cover. They're giving you the peace sign. The very enjoyable story. We're getting into the real meat of this story now. As the new gods of Japan have discovered that's exactly what they were. They got powers. They're kind of the new gods of Japan. And the old gods are kind of, there's the spider gods or whoever they are who are helping out the cat lady. Nice artwork, interesting story. Like I said, the new gods of Japan versus the old gods of Japan kind of thing. A changing of the guard, sort of, the world is changing, and so now all these behind-the-scenes magical creatures are changing. It's been a good story, Wayward. Nice ride. We're on issue 12, and I'm keeping up with this one. I'm laughing to myself again here, because just like Autumnlands, I did not notice I had an issue of the Wicker the Divine in my stack. But here it is. Nice cover on this one. This is the other book by Gillen and McKelvey, but I guess there's someone else drawing it this issue. Who do we got here? Graham? I can't find the credits. Graham, I guess, whoever that is penciling this issue. So we can see it looks different. Oop, some nudity. We'll flip past that page. That's not a very good page to look at. We'll just look at this page. Oh, is this that Graham person I've heard a bit about who does Island? He's involved with that. I've never actually read any of his stuff, and he's done some other things, but what is it? It says something on her hand, too. I need my reading glasses. Well, it says something on her hand. I can't quite read it because I need my reading glasses. Something, oh, look at her. She's got cats. But anyway, Wicker the Divine, they've been... All these kind of fill-in issues have been okay, not as good as the main stuff, but, I'm still enjoying it, and that's a solid cover, I have to say. What's on the back cover of another quote. Are you ready? Woden, who our Day of the Week Wednesday is named after. But anyway, Wicker the Divine, new issue. I really should pay attention to what's in my stack, but why bother? I'm busy chatting. And here we go with The Beauty, issue number 4. This one finally needed the pull list. Kind of a police procedural story about this disease that makes you beautiful, an STD that makes you beautiful, but now they found out that in like 3 years it kills you. So they're trying to expose that. Some sort of conspiracy going on where the drug companies want to make money off it, and we just had a big incident with crazy mercenaries in the drug company last issue, and there was some violence, and now they're trying to figure out the cure for the beauty here. But like I said, it took me to last issue number, or maybe it was the issue, but 3 or 4 to finally decide to put it on my pull list. I've been buying it issue by issue before then, but it's made it on to my now closed pull list because so many things have made it on. There are just so many good comics coming out. It's amazing. I can't even keep up with them all. But I can keep up with the Beauty number 5, so give it a look. And the final comic of the week is Dark Horse Presents issue number 17. Big 56-page issue. Let's see what we got. Carla Speed McNeil's Finder is, of course, the highlight for me. Semi-Automagic is also good. I like David Chelsea in general. Some Dark Horse is always solid. I generally like it. I don't know what this new one, Brooklyn Blood, is. We'll have to see. I generally always like... This is David Chelsea's one. I first read some of his stuff in the night. Was it David Chelsea in Love? Was the name of a comic / magazine size one he put out. I think it was the early 90s. Sort of autobiographical about him falling in love. Man, I want to pull that one off the shelf. I have not seen that in years. Oh, there's that Superman Into the World story. But I enjoy Dark Horse every month, so I'll keep up with that one. And here is my bonus / burden. I'm not sure which one it is yet. My comic shop owner, Roy, gave this to me. He's been trying to give them away for a while now, just because finally this week he's like, "Sure you don't want one? It's you or the garbage." I was like, oh, do I really need 10 comics lying around that I might never read? This is Double Take Comics that came out back in September. That they came out with 10 new series that I don't think anyone is interested in, that all take place in the George Romero Night of the Living Dead universe, because that movie is in public domain. And I was just like, what? Let me open up the package here. We can give a glance at all 10. Take the shrink wrap off. I guess it's just there we go. That's a wraparound. We're just getting started. Then, oh, look at all these bad logos. Talk about a bad logo. Z-Men, Nervous in the Service. Rise, Sister's Keeper. Not a bad cover. Home, #1, Lighter Than Air. These are all the Slab, #1, The Doctor is in. That's a pretty nice cover. Spring, #1, Born Again. That's a pretty not very good cover. Remote, #1, Dead Air. Oh, let's turn these upside down, or right side up. Soul, #1. Honor, #1. Those are the shortest shorts I've ever seen on a police officer, if that's what she is. Dedication, #1. Hi there, I'm cooking something creepy. And Medic, #1. I really have no idea what these are. Besides, I know it all takes place in that Night of the Living Dead universe in 1960-something. I think they have fake ads that make it look like it was then. They had some sort of timeline in one of these. And Bill Jemas, the former publisher of Marvel Comics, is somehow behind all this. I just there's Pennsylvania Town. I don't know. I'll give them a look. I was just kind of like, fine. I was like, you know what? For free, I'll give them a look, even though I don't have a huge interest in them. And the name Bill Jemas on them does not fill me with confidence. But anyway, there's my bonus / burden for this. I'll give you a look at my background art. Whoops, knocking into the tripod. The first one is my Deep Space comic. Faux comic book cover, issue number. I've done a bunch of these where they're just kind of singular figures out in space, kind of evoking a weird, lonely feeling of humanity being in space. Like I said, I enjoy doing those every now and then. They're just kind of a theme I've got rolling around. I did one this week. And the other thing is something I don't do too often, but I felt like doing. I did I reproduced an actual Batman 241 comic, just because every now and then I want to work with someone else's image. And I took this one. As a matter of fact, I put this one up on eBay too, just to see if anybody wanted it. People usually don't, but I don't care. It doesn't cost me anything to post them. and a few people look at it. But I stuck that one up on eBay. I'll have a link down below, or you probably just search for it. But this was one, it was a Neil Adams cover. I changed it around a little. I got rid of that giant blurb that was down here, which there was no reason for, and blew up the figure a little bit. So it's not an exact reproduction. It's just kind of an homage Batman thing. And that's just something I had to rebuild. I made this whole logo and everything on the computer and printed that out on the board, and then all of this is my usual pen and ink. Sort of what I did for my Deep Space comic too. This whole logo is done via the computer and then printed out on the board, and then I draw right on top of everything. But anyway, there you go. A little bit of art this week. A little Batman, a little Deep Space. We will catch you next week.